Ever feel like you didn't decide to scroll? You were just scrolled. Or like your Spotify knows your mood better before your therapist. Or worse, your Google Calendar knows your burnout cycle better than your boss, for example. That sounds a bit weird, but it's not paranoia. It's DNA, information, environment, right? And in today's episode, we're diving into what that means for our jobs, but also for creativity, identity, democracy, and whether being human is just a temporary glitch in the matrix. Let's funk it up. So, Sawadee Krab and welcome to another episode here for the Funk It Pod, Mindful Media and Communication. And welcome to the new culture where the algorithm is your culture now. Welcome to the era of algorithmic curation. Your world optimized to the point, to your personality. You don't choose what to see anymore. You're shown what you react to. Emotionally, politically, financially. And Marshall McLuhan was right back in the day when he said the medium is the message. Meaning the medium influences the way we understand the message that's being sent. But now, 2025, the medium is predictive, invisible, and scalable. So the impact that the medium has on us, how we understand messages and how we send, receive, and understand messages, completely changes. And there are a few theories that relate to that. Way back in the day, back in the day, Baudrillard, he talked about hyperreality. That was before social media. He said, we don't know what's real and what's not real. We're watching so many things on TV back then that we're not sure, is this real or is it scripted sometimes? Now, we already passed the social media era where those lines have been blurred even more. Now we're in the AI era where we really have no clue like what's real, what's not. Baudrillard, he talked about we're watching or we're consuming simulations and we're living in simulations, not like in a computer simulation, but in a simulated reality, mixed between what's real and what we see on TV. Or for us, mixed what's real and what's on social media, mixed between what's real and what the AI tells us is real. And in addition to this, very famous theory when it comes to communication media is the public sphere theory, Jürgen Habermas. And that theory, you take it, you break it, and you throw it away. Okay, I did this for the clicks. But listen, the public sphere, is it still there? I don't think so. It has no shared space for discourse anymore. Habermas was like, hey, the media is the shared space where we can discuss things. There's discourse happening, and that then leads to people building and forming opinions. And that was true back then. That was true somewhat during social media. In the beginning, we all on MySpace sharing ideas and stuff like this. But then eventually more fragmented and so on. Yeah, but still somewhat true. But now, hyper-personalization, AI just twisting, tweaking everything it shows you. And I'm not only talking about ChatGPT, like the AI algorithms for TikTok, Instagram, whatever it might be. You just see things, and I talk as Alex Jones right now. Oh my God, you just see these things that are optimized for you in particular. Crazy. So how are we supposed to discuss things if we never see the same things? Same topics maybe, but from different angles, right? Different frames around it. So how can we even discuss what's real, what we think, if we have different starting points, different angles to look at things? Oh God. Yeah, if your feed knows you better than your friends do, who do you trust more to shape your worldview? Do you listen to your friend because your friend picked up something somewhere, maybe even at uni, God forbid? Or do you believe what's in your feed because your feed knows you so well and shows you stuff that you're interested in, that you agree with? Yeah, exactly. Who optimized everything? Hey, welcome. And the thing is, what happens to you when everything you consume and you see is personalized? Yeah, and I mentioned it before on the pod, I teach digital marketing, right? So from a marketing point of view, personalization is great. But here's the thing. Personalization, it tells a big lie. Personalization doesn't make you, you. Personalization is formatting you. Okay, the hat on, conspiracy hat on, tinfoil hat, ready? Personalization is formatting you to be predictable. Putting you in like the small, tiny little boxes that we can pull you out and be like, I know how you behave. Here's the content you like. A hyper-personalization, one of the trending buzzwords 2024, 2025. Hyper-personalization kills friction. Great, smooth, right? Get the stuff you're interested in. Here, I know you're thirsty, go drink. Awesome for marketing. But for real life, friction is where real life happens. If something is friction, there is friction, you have to think. What is it? Why is there friction? How can I overcome it? What does it mean? And you're growing. If there's no more friction, will there still be growth? Or will it just be outsource everything, let the algo take the wheel? There's another theory to this, right? It's about like the personal drama, your personal face, your personal performance, and also Postman, like it's Goffman and Postman talked about this a lot. Especially Goffman was like, well, we have two personalities, mostly, right? So we have the ones that are in front of the camera, so to speak, that perform for the outside, and the ones in the backstage behind the camera. But now, do we still have, even if we're performing, right? Back then we performed what we thought others want to see and how we want to be perceived by others. Are we still performing the way we want others to perceive us? Or are we performing what the algorithm tells us to perform? Are the algorithms now writing our identities and we just take what the algorithm gives us, shows us how it influences us, and we then keep performing and repeating that? Think about it. We have, and I understand this could be understood as me hating on AI. I'm not. Actually, I'm a proponent of AI, to be honest. I like it. It makes things better, easier, faster. But think about it. There are AI therapists, right? There are grief bots. There are virtual friends, which is great. Until comfort gets replaced by emotional outsourcing. Then it's not great anymore. So what happens when life is too optimized to actually feel alive? And so that brings me to the next part, idea, thought. Hope versus horror. Is there hope in what AI brings us, or should we be horrified? And well, there's hope, right? AI can be like the great equalizer, if you will, for access, for creativity, for learning support, multilingual translations, inclusive design. So much potential, which is amazing. Horror? Bias can be scaled to the nth extent very quickly. Truth will be fragmented. You know that AI is programmed to all agree with you and show you what you're into, so we don't see the raw truth, we see truth from our point of view, no matter the topic, no matter the tool. Not a great base for democratic conversations, right? And eventually that might lead us to stop thinking because we're just too busy prompting the whole time. Tell me this, tell me that, tell me this, tell me that, help me with this, help me with that. Great. But at what point are we thinking? And that's not just me making that up, even though if that actually happens, I'm going to claim lots of credit for that. There's theories. Technological determinism theory, for example, versus social shaping of technology, right? What shapes what? Does determinism, technological determinism says technology shapes society. We're developing new technology. The technology influences how society behaves. On the other hand, you have social shaping of tech, meaning society, the needs for society shape the technology that's being developed. Okay. Can we actually stop the development of technology? In this case, AI. Do we want to? Can we? Yeah, I think it's at a point where we can steer the ship, of course. Where are we sailing with the AI? But if we're honest, we don't know how to sail, how to steer the ship. And most of us that are using it, we're kind of like, scrolling the lifeboats. If that fits, if our ship has lifeboats, it's not a pirate ship. The next question that makes me hesitate a little bit is like, and again, I said it too many times, I'm not an AI hater, I use AI a lot, but do artifacts have politics? Yeah, AI systems are inherently not neutral. They all run on value systems given to them, encoded by whoever programmed it. Be that OpenAI, be that Google Gemini, be that Anthropic, be that DeepSeek, whoever, Meta, Snap, you name it. So no AI ever is unbiased. It's neutral. So the politics that impact the company that runs the AI, yeah, TikTok too, AI algorithm and so on. So if the politics impact the company, of course, the output that the AI gives us will also be impacted, right? So we keep asking what AI can do, but maybe the real question actually would be, what will we stop doing because it can do it for us? Yeah, do we outsource lots of decisions, for example, just because I can and we're too lazy to do it? And this leads me to one of my favorite points to discuss: creativity, intelligence, consciousness. Is it now being redefined or being replaced? If AI, writes a novel that wins a prize, what does it say about creativity? Is creativity now being redefined or replaced? Is AI being intelligent or just good at mimicking what we think counts as creativity? Maybe creativity is not just producing things anymore, but curating things, adding context to things, rather than just writing a novel. It is this famous thought experiment of the Chinese room, right? You're probably familiar with that. So are we now seeing more syntax without semantics, is the question. The thing is, if you're looking at like Gardner, for example, Gardner's intelligence, right? You see that right now AI is crushing logic and language, but it still lacks, so far, body, emotion, intuition. So far. So that means to me that the real creativity is not necessarily just the output, the essay, the novel, the song maybe even, but real creativity means also struggle, surprise, missteps. Can machines desire something? So for me, and I'm gonna rebuttal myself in just 10 seconds, but from my point of view, first, creativity isn't just output, okay? It's obsession. So the question is, can the algorithm obsess? Now the answer could be, if the algo learns to mimic us, it can act like it obsesses, right? Rabbit hole wide open. Which then leads me to my main point, I guess, or the main takeaway, media literacy. And media literacy has been a buzzword for a long time, and that's why I'm a bit annoyed with it, because we call it media literacy 3.0 or something, or call it like something different. But media literacy changes. It has to change completely to what we considered media literacy up until now, okay? Deepfakes, yeah, synthetic news, AI anchors, like, great, welcome to simulation broadcasting. No one cares, that's okay. The thing is, it's not just about fact-checking. Fact-checking should be the base level, okay? There should be the base, yes, it's important to know, but everybody should be taught that all the time. It should be the base level. Everyone should be familiar with it. What we add to that now is what I want to call system checking, okay? You got to teach young people and old people how truth is made. Not just what's true, not this is real, this is fake. We have to teach them, how is it being made? Why is it being made? Why do you see what you see? Every algorithm has an agenda, be it generative AI, ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever, be it social media, TikTok, IG, and so on. Every algo has an agenda. Why do we see what we see? Who benefits from showing this to me? Why would they tell me that? Social media, Gen AI, everywhere, ask those questions. We need to make sure that we don't forget how to think critically. And it's such a buzzword. I understand that. And hence it's like, yeah, sure, you teach, you talk about it, you're just a boring teacher. It's important that we don't forget to ask those questions. Okay, so teach young people how truth is being made, not just what is true. And let me throw in a few more theories, just so you see that I'm not the only one making this up. Very basic communication theory, communication 101, Hall encoding and decoding theory. What you see, what you receive as the message is not what was sent as the message, right? So the model suggests that, okay, there's a sender and there's a receiver. And while the sender says something, the message goes through a medium, and then there's some noise in between, distractions, whatever it might be. Then it goes to the receiver, and the receiver understands the message in a way that he, she, they, them understands it. It's never exactly how the sender meant it. Cultural distractions, for example, personal distractions, medium distractions, whatever that might be. Now there's even more of those distractions in there. Algorithm, personalization, hyper-personalization, right? Adding different things to it, different angles, different frames. What you see is never what was sent. There's always something added to it. Why? Who benefits from that? Ask those questions. And to also add some philosophy to it, like, yeah, Noam Chomsky or even Herman talk about propaganda models, that media is using propaganda to influence us. Sure. And now we've got filters that are AI-driven and customized, hyper-personalized per user. By filter, I don't mean like face filters. I mean filters of like, what do we see? What news do we get? If you're using DeepSeek, for example, you can talk about Tiananmen Square, of course, because it's a Chinese company, right? Just one example. So be aware of that. We are outsourcing thinking, acting, decision-making to those algos. And it's great to have support to get things done easier and so on. But if we also outsource critical thinking, decision-making, empathy, and all those things, then we are losing what it means to be human. And then we are on the wrong way down. Holding on to my tinfoil hat. Okay, so don't go down the road. Media literacy is the new, maybe even number one civic skill. And it might just be our very last line of defense before we're giving up everything and letting AI take the wheel completely. Let me know what you think. Am I going overboard with this? What do you think? Shout out in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Leave some comments on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you listen to this. Thanks for tuning in, and we talk soon. Sorry, Cap.